Hello everybody, my name is Starro and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars The High Republic Mission to Disaster, written by Justina Ireland. This is the young reader novel in Phase 1, Wave 3 of The High Republic. Before we get into the meat of the story here, I do want to talk about the distribution that's going on with this book. It is a casualty, unfortunately, of the shipping crisis around the world. So we do have at least the ebook as well as the audiobook that have come out on time. However, if you're looking for the physical version of this book, you're going to have to wait all the way until March 1st. Now, the problem arises that this book technically should be the first book that you read in Phase 1, Wave 3, because it does take place chronologically a little bit before the Fallen Star. And I think reading this book will be more rewarding going into the Fallen Star with certain things that happen in this story. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. As far as getting into the story itself, this is really the third book in almost like a pseudo trilogy with Justina Ireland. She wrote A Test of Courage for Wave 1, and Wave 2 is Out of the Shadows. And then you have Wave 3, which has all these characters. You have Imri, you have Vernestra, as well as Avon Starros. So these characters are basically all part of the story once again. And what happens is Avon Starros gets kidnapped on Port Heliop, and it's up to Vernestra, it's up to the character of Imri to go and find her. So you have this new location of Dalna, which has a lot of history, as we learned that Phase 2 of the High Republic is going to go back 150 years. So there's a lot of references to this planet that was a big deal 150 years ago. So that's pretty cool. But this story is really a rescue mission to get Avon Starros back. And we've had all this time to build up on the relationships between Padawan and Master of Vernestra and of Imri, and of also their prior, relationships of just being together, surviving on the planet of Wevo in A Test of Courage with everybody together. So there's a lot at stake here, and I feel like I'm gonna go right into my positives right now. What's at stake here is more than any of the young reader novels we've seen yet. I feel like they do a great job. Justina does a great job of really building up these characters and building up this conflict to almost a boiling point, to where you're really seeing something that we haven't seen in a lot of these young reader novels, where there's like stuff that's actually going to be consequential, as far as like, oh, this could change a lot of people's fates with what's being told in this story. And I feel like these characters between Imri, between Vernestra, between Avon Starros have all really grown, especially from the beginning of this book to the end. They've all kind of conquered their own self-doubt and whatnot. I feel like a lot of this book is about making decisions and making the right decisions in the time that's very hard to decide, right? Like, do you want to, save your personal relationships, or is it like, should I save this bigger group of people, which is going to have more ramifications? So it's a lot of, I don't want to say selfishness or whatever for a loved one, but like, it's a lot of harder stuff that these kids are dealing with, which we don't get a lot in this kind of category of readers here. So I really appreciate Justina for bringing the little bit more of maturity and reality to what's going on here. I feel like in this story itself, there's a huge symbolic thing that happens with Starlight Beacon, which I absolutely love, because we get to see Starlight Beacon as the beacon of hope quite literally in one of the sequences of this book. And it's one of those examples that really resonated with me, like from Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, where we see all the Jedi kind of communing with the Force and different things at different points. It really had one of those huge moments that I feel like we haven't had in the last couple stories, but it was really cool. Like, the heart of the High Republic is to see these Jedi really working together. So I really appreciate that. I think the pacing in these young reader novels in general is fantastic. It's just a fun Star Wars story that's going to get you through. It's going to be a lot of lightsabers. It's going to be a lot of blasters. It's going to be a lot of creatures along the way. And it's got all those things checked off just so well done there. As far as some negatives, I will say that there were a lot of, or I wouldn't say a lot, but there were some conveniences to the overall scope of certain things that happen in this book. And I will say that, there could have been more explanation to some things. But yeah, so conveniences with the resolution of some things that happen. Other than that, that's kind of a little bit more nitpicky. I got to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Between A Test of Courage in Wave 1, between Race to Crash Point Tower in Wave 2, and between A Mission to Disaster, this book right here that we're talking about in Wave 3, I feel like this is the strongest young reader novel out of all of them. And it's working so well with connecting all the stories, whether it be from the comics to even, the Star Wars Insider short stories. There's characters that are floating in from that actually play a pretty important role to the comics. Everything that goes on by Wave 3 is really coming to this big, like I said, boiling point in general of like, oh my gosh, so there's all this stuff that is happening here, and we're getting these characters, and you're knowing their previous stories. And the High Republic is just such an awesome, fertile place to tell stories where we don't know what's going to happen, and I just love how that is the kind of situation we're dealing with right here. So for more on the High Republic, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the High Republic Mission to Disaster. I have an entire playlist of over 50 videos dedicated to High Republic content, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, as that's the easiest way to support me here. And do hit that like button to let me know that you like this video. So that is going to do it for me, Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @StarRaptor.